Hi, my name is Shia Ritchie, and we are going to discuss our final reflective journal and the overall feel I got from this class and sort of what information was presented to me and what I consumed from that. And I'm looking at the modules here just to make sure that I've got everything, I remember everything that we went over this course. It was a lot of work. So one of the concepts that stuck out to me the most for this class was that it was there was a great emphasis on cultural consideration and social and emotional consideration. I think that was apparent with the analysis paper, the social and emotional needs and role of midwife support paper, the reflective journals, and the reflective journal about when I had a birth where cultural consideration was very important. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the Mennonite family that whose birth I attended. A lot of concepts that I learned this semester were not necessarily learned, but was able to see in my practices as a student, and then able to do a demonstration video was actually really helpful for me. The vaginal examination video, for one, was really, really cool. The Leopold maneuver assessment video, demonstration video was great. Making that chart for vital signs, very helpful. I've done it before, but it helps to do it every semester to just get that memory down. And also all the client resources like doula and labor support. There were a lot of assignments where we were asked to create a resources sheet for what we were talking about and who in our area would be able to be a good resource for our clients. That was actually helpful because I got to find out the different emergency medical services in my area, some doulas, and pelvic floor childbirth education classes all in my area, which was awesome. Our protocol assignments were so helpful. Just what to do during first, second, and third stages of labor. If I can just open up one of those assignments just to get a little visual of what. Oh, sure. So we were talking about phone triaging, like when to call the midwife. It was fun to kind of pick and choose from what I liked with my own preceptors and sort of bring it into my own sort of paperwork that I can one day give clients. Evidence of active labor. Obviously, this also had a lot of cultural and client respect and support in it because there's a lot of protocol into when to call the midwife and when we can come over. And one of those is whenever the client wants us to. That's part of our job. So when the client needs that extra emotional support, excuse me, I've been coughing all day. The case studies were super helpful. It was nice to have I'm trying to think of the names of the clients. Amy, Claire, and Becca? Something like that. It was nice to see how to handle a primip, a multip, someone who was having prodromal labor, someone who was having a breech birth, a spontaneous breech. It was helpful to be taught and know what to do in those scenarios, what seems like an abnormal scenario versus what may not seem textbook, but has solutions that a midwife can absolutely do and is within their scope of practice. So I actually enjoyed the case studies more than I think I enjoyed any of the other parts of this class, and I'm glad that we were able to do 3, maybe even 4 case studies throughout the semester. Going down to And then obviously we have like universal precaution, sterilization charts, things where it's like I'm so glad we were able to do these in class because now I have that paperwork, those cheat sheets that I can keep for myself when I'm in my own practice and when I'm at a birth. And I have like, not that I'm probably going to need to know my universal precautions by the time I start having my own practice, but regardless, those things are on the NARM. So all of this is basically just like really comprehensive study guides. Excuse me. I need water. The mind mapping, I think this whole class was pretty much a mind map because Gina was presenting us concepts and she wanted to know how we were going to resolve any of these quote unquote complications. I think that's what the meat and potatoes of this class was. Here is a situation. How do you work with the client? How do you maintain respect with the client? And within your scope of practice, how do you resolve the issue? And what is everyone's role in the situation? And when does it become out of your control? I really like that I was able to make my own postpartum instructions. That was really great. That's something that we give to all of our clients. So being able to make it, I'm definitely going to improve upon it as the time goes by. Making that postpartum instruction video too, because that's something that I can give clients via Zoom. Some clients are more visual learners, so I feel like having that audio video instructional is helpful for clients of different learning types. So yeah, without going through every single assignment verbatim, I'd say that the main concept of this class was to pretty much put our experience and our learning in action. If you have a multip who's having precipitous labor, when do you come to their house and when do you do vitals, and what are normal vitals, and if you have a breech birth, what's the typical protocol? When time is of the essence, do we transfer? Do we not transfer? How do we make sure that we're saving our credibility here? How are we charting? Like, these things are pretty much what we've talked about for these last 15 weeks. So I'd say that was what I was able to get from this class, was being able to like utilize quick thinking, because that is what any type of emergency could have been an emergency. All these things are about how do we think quick? What are our options? How much time do we have? Did we do everything correctly before we got up to this point to make sure that what happened here not necessarily wasn't our fault, but was unavoidable, which is a good term. So yeah, thank you, Gina, for all that helpful skill, because it's great, and I'm about to start going to my first births with my new preceptor. So I'm excited to utilize this practices with her. And that's sort of my final reflective journal for this semester. Thank you.